Warner, and I am the president of SEL4NJ, and I'm just super pleased that so many of you are able to join us and that we are here with lovely colleagues who will be really talking about fabulous work that they've been undertaking. So before we get going, I'm just going to share my screen.
I'm in the hall this morning.
And
She's
just
like, hey,
remind,
all excited. I get to go to Eagle Bluff.
could everyone just make sure to mute themselves? That would be great. So, as many of you are aware, if you happen to find this webinar, it is SEL Week. And throughout SEL Week, we're going to be offering a series of 9 webinars, just like last year we did the same thing. What's a little bit different this year for SEL Day is that it's also SEL, which is wonderful. The theme is Skills for Success, Ready for the Future, which, as we all know, as true SEL believers, is absolutely true, that the social emotional skills really provide the foundation for thriving in all aspects of life. Should be mentioned that SEL Day is brought to you by a whole bunch of partners. The original idea of SEL Day came from Dave Adams at the Urban Assembly. And then SEL4US and the Urban Assembly quickly launched SEL Day about 6 years ago. And 6 Seconds has joined in as our international partner, which we are just, they've really added a whole nother layer of just contacts and international reach as well as expertise to the mix. So we're thrilled to have such wonderful partners in bringing SEL Day to all of us. Just a quick note for some of you may or may not know SEL4NJ, who's bringing you these webinars. We're part of SEL4US, which is a national effort. There's state alliances all across America, and a couple of those states are bubbling up as well to really just connect people around SEL, the importance to advocate for high quality best practice SEL. So we really benefit from being part of this network. And also SEL4NJ was one of the founding states for SEL4US. So we learn a lot. We hope others can learn from us as well. And again, we are an organization that's comprised of over 3,400 members, and it includes educators, teachers, district people, school psychologists, school counselors, all sorts of people attached to schools, as well as associations and organizations in the field of education, SEL providers, as well as community partners. So it's truly an organization that brings people together who are all invested in ensuring our children thrive and that the schools can be the best they can be. We are an all-volunteer organization and quite proud of that. This is kind of what we do. And if you haven't joined SEL4NJ, we really suggest you do. And likewise, we define SEL very broadly. It's all of this, all of these things together is when we say SEL, what we mean. It's kind of an umbrella term for the purposes of SEL4NJ. So we talked about what is SEL Day, because it's SEL Week. There's still time to share an artifact on social media, which is great. And it has been a super huge success over the years. And in fact, we're very, very grateful that Governor Murphy has signed a proclamation honoring SEL Day. And likewise, the State Board of Ed tomorrow will be issuing a resolution as well. So we're just so grateful that within New Jersey, we have such a groundswell of support from the grassroots, from the littlest kids in kindergarten, all the way through to the governor and the State Board of Ed. And so, yeah, if you have time, there's still time, just create an artifact and share it sometime this week. We will like it and share it, and we can just spread the love. So with that said, I am going to now turn it over to my my lovely colleague, Bill, and Doug and Deb and others. And so we're going to this is not the right slide, so apologies for that. But in any case, I'm going to turn it over to Bill and my colleagues to take it from here.
Thank you, Liz. I'm happy to be here and representing both SEL for New Jersey as well as the New Jersey Alliance for Social, Emotional, and Character Development. I'm the president of that organization. And our first presentation today is made up of 3 rock star guidance counselors in North Jersey. Deb Minieri, Maribeth Hall, and Doug Stech. They have lots to share. They have a tremendous experience in leading their schools to become state and national schools of character, not only once, but multiple times. And aside from that, they've all 3 been really effective mentors to other schools who have chosen to do the same work. So I'm really pleased to introduce to you Deb and Maribeth from Lakeview School in Denville, and Doug from Woodmont School in Montville. And yeah, I know you're going to enjoy their presentation because what they have to share is absolutely fantastic. So over to Doug and Deb and Maribeth. And Doug, feel free to share your screen if you wish.
Doug, are you going to share it, or do you want us to share it?
Maybe if you have it ready, I'll let you go ahead and share since we'll be starting out with the Lakeview piece.
Okay,
Okay, thanks.
let's get to, give us 1 second. We will share it. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being so patient with us. And, you know, as many of you know, because you're counselors, the same skills that you need for counseling aren't necessarily the same skills for technology and things like that. But I also want to say that everything we're going to share with you today in terms of our programming or any of Doug's programming, that we're happy to share with all of you. So we have many slides connected to our programming. We have a lot of artifacts connected, and all of that will be shared with all of you. And at the end, we're going to have our contact information, so you could reach out. We're happy to mentor any schools. We have schools come visit us all the time to work with them on different programming. And what we're going to share with you today is that we here at Lakeview, we had all the programming, right? We had, you know, peer leadership, and we had reflection and morning meetings and all these different things, but it didn't all come together until we started working with New Jersey schools of character and implementing the 11 principles into our school. And once we implemented those 11 principles, it all came together. And I'm going to have Deb start us off.
Yeah, I can honestly say, actually, Liz was one of my key people, right, Liz? Many, many moons ago, I was going to the, social support groups, and I was like, we need help. And they came in and they helped us pull it together. And we started out really with the low-hanging fruit. I can't say this enough. Every time I'm in a group, in a meeting, we start out because you want the buy-in for everyone. So doling out all of this information, it really starts with trying to figure out what the true needs are, where the surveys are. And Maribeth and I and Doug are very open to sharing everything. So don't worry, you can reach out to us. We put all of our information in the PowerPoint. Feel free afterwards, so if we're talking fast, and you don't get everything down, we're glad to share anything we can later. I'm going to get on my bandwagon about core values. I absolutely feel like the core values are the #1 basis to everything. Like Maribeth said, we had all of the programming. We had it all here, but it wasn't until we started with the 11 principles. It wasn't until we really broke down and got to our core values that everything came together. And if you ever come to Lakeview, you'll notice core values are embedded in absolutely everything we do. You'll find it in emails. You'll find it all throughout the building. You'll find it in every single piece of our daily life here. And the culture and climate team is a huge one, getting your stakeholders, having them all involved. And Maribeth will be talking about the action plan as well.
Yeah, which was another great thing from working with character.org is that creating that action plan. They had it on the application and it was like, oh, you know what? That's a really great thing. So we're going to get into that and show you a copy of our character action plan. So once you have your core values and you decide what your school is going to be about, what is your common language? So here at Lakeview, we did a survey and we came up with our core values, which spell out pride, because we're Lakeview Lions, the pride, and it's perseverance, respect, integrity, diversity, excellence. And so when we first implemented that, character.org again had this great lesson plan, which we're happy to share with you as well, on how to start implementing the core values to become that common language in your school. So we started with that. And then a big part of all this is surveys, data, and reflection. So we do staff survey, student, and then student, staff, and parents. And we're all New Jersey, so we all know the state of New Jersey requires certain surveys every year. We send those out across the board. We do a needs survey for our teachers to find out what's going on with them. You know, what are your 3 stressors in school? What are your 3 stressors out of school? And if you had a magic wand, what could we do for you? Right? With the understanding that we can't always pull out the magic wand and make it happen, but we get an idea of what's going on with the culture of our school. And we do this through our culture and climate team. Another thing we do, and I'll share the document with you, is we do a survey for character skills for the kids each year. So we say to the teachers, tell us what grade you're in, tell us which one of these skills are the kids lacking in, and rank them. Because Deb and I, in our action plan for character education, we streamline, you know, what she's doing in K1 and 2 so that it continues for May 3, 4, and 5 age appropriately. And it tells us what has changed. Like we see a big change in listening.
Right.
So we've had to almost like things that I was doing in 3rd grade, I can't really do that anymore. I almost have to go down to like an old 2nd grade lesson because the listening isn't what it used to be. But this gives us an idea of what the teachers are dealing with and what they need help with.
I think one of the biggest things, and Doug, you know, we're just going to keep talking, so just jump in whenever you can. But you know, one of the big things for us is really for the teachers to feel valued. So those counselors and those people, the admins that are on here, you know, for me, I've been here at Lakeview for 21 years. And, you know, in the beginning, yeah, we had great programs and we were always doing things and we were always doing it. It wasn't until like we sat down with Liz and her team and really thought about what their needs are. You know, what are the stressors that the teachers need? And it's really that low hanging fruit. Some of the things in the first survey were we need hand warmers because, you know, we have kind of a concierge drop-off situation. So the people that are out there were cold. They wanted the laminator in the middle of the school versus in the front of the building, those kind of things. It's those little tiny hanging fruits that once you start helping the staff with that, then you get a lot of buy-in. You know, when we built out our morning meetings and our, you know, every class here has morning meetings now from 8:05, 8:10 to like 8:20. And we put together the program, we helped them, we did a lot of trainings, we worked on it, we learned what the kids need and helped support the teachers. I think if you haven't done this and haven't started that, that's really where you want to start. You want to start at those kind of things, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say without, sorry, Doug, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say I would definitely agree with what Deb and Maribeth said. Here at Woodmont, where I am, Woodmont Elementary School in Montville Township, we had the same experience early on in our journey, you know, through the School of Character process. For all of you who are school counselors or admin, you know you're in the role of trying to be all things to all people. We can't emphasize enough how important it is to really involve the teaching staff. One, because it keeps everyone's level of excitement and enthusiasm built up throughout the school year, adds some new energy, but also those are going to be your foot soldiers on these kind of things. So here at Woodmont, we have many things that teachers have grown organically that have become part of our character education work, but they literally just run things, and it's all under the umbrella of character education, but I'll share more later. But yeah, we've gotten a lot of staff buy-in, and it really, it's the only way to accomplish as much as you might hope to accomplish, and still keep your own sanity.
Yeah, I would agree exactly
Yeah.
with what Doug said. You can't do this by yourself. You need buy-in from the teachers. And the way you're going to get buy-in from them is respecting their time and respecting how much they have to do every day, and by caring about how you can help them, right? Did you want to add something?
No, I
Doug?
just was, I didn't really, I went with the core values, right? Coming up with your core values. For those groups that have them already, that's awesome. If you don't have them, the process is figuring them out. Character.org, for some of those that know or don't know, have added different values now. So now it's 4 different values. It used to be just performance and moral, but they've included intellectual and civic at this point. We can certainly go further into them later on in the presentation if you have any questions or anything about it. We'll gladly help you build those in. But when you're applying, or if you decide to go for state or national school of character, that is a huge key piece.
Yes,
of
and
it.
that I'll jump over to our student, staff, and parents survey. One of those is our core value and character education programming. And what that is every year we reassess, are these still our core values? Do we need to look at them again? Now that character.org has changed it to those 4, we'll probably have a meeting about that more with our character team to discuss that. But we survey everybody, students, staff, parents. Oh, sorry, you can't really see this, but we do a survey saying, do you feel that the core values are still relevant? Which ones need to be changed? We go over all our character programming. So some of our programming is morning meetings. If you're in 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, you can go to a younger classroom and lead a morning meeting. So we do the survey to find out, do the kids who lead morning meeting, do they like it? Do the teachers like it? Are the students prepared? Are the parents hearing about it at home? The kids who are not participating but have the kids come into their classroom, do they enjoy it? Is it effective?
We do have a ton down here in the office in these trash bags. What size?
Sorry. So I thought somebody was talking to us. So this way it creates that connected community, right? Where the school is getting together more often. And it's a learning how to experience and adjust. One thing we did every year were den meetings, breaking the school into 5 different dens according to core values, and doing these meetings. And we saw from the surveys this year that for our 4th grade team, it was a difficult time of the day. So we're revamping the program this year, because we're not doing programming just to do it. We're doing it because it's meaningful for the students and for the staff. So we send those out every year, asking the kids what they think about that, about our peer leadership programs, any of that we have. Back to the student section of surveys, data, and reflection. The beginning of the year, we go around to our 4th and 5th grades, because student voice is very important. It's not about us telling the kids, it's about the kids having a voice. And we have many different programs they could participate in. So I'll try and share this with you. So for instance, this is our 5th grade leadership opportunities. Why is it not showing on
Oh,
yours?
no, I just have it.
So this will give them, they could tell us what they're interested in or not interested in. Another program we have here in the center is kindergarten recess helpers. Our admins redid our schedule so that kindergarten and 5th grade have recess at the same time, so that and there's 2 different playgrounds. 5th graders can volunteer and give up their own recess to go play with kindergarten during their recess and have lunch with them. Again, creating a smaller school in a big school. And so we put that's part of the interest survey. We do a different interest survey for 4th grade. It's many of the same programs, but not all of the same programs. And then we collect that data, and throughout the year, we make sure everybody has some kind of leadership that they checked off on the list that they want to participate in. And I would say most of our programs, like Deb runs kindergarten recess, but I would say we have 90% of the fifth grade that participate in that program, and the kindergartners love it. And then they're teaching the fifth graders, one, are developing their own leadership skills, but they're teaching sportsmanship to the other kids. They're teaching conflict resolution, and the kids get it better from other kids than through us. And another thing that we have is called the shoe tying station, where that was something that came in the survey from the staff, that the first grade teachers were saying, one thing that's just killing us is tying shoes all day long. And so then I said, I remember when I was a kid, I learned from my neighbor. So I think kids learn better from each other than from us. They have too much adult interaction, right? So we have these shoe tying station, and it doesn't matter if you're in kindergarten and you know how to tie your shoes, you can teach somebody else. So those are just some of the programs we have. And again, we survey each year about all of those programs. Is there anything else before we go?
No,
on
I
to
think
next?
that's good.
Oh, did I go too far? No. Oh, I'll do this one again. All right. So the character education action plan. So what we did for that was we have a goal that we want to achieve, and we talk about where we're going for the culture and climate for this year. So this is last year's plan, and we implemented last year the zones of regulation into it. So we went around to each classroom and taught that. We talked about providing as many leadership possibilities as possible, and we did that through the survey, and to have it aligned between Deb and I, what was being taught on each level and each grade level, and it's based on CASEL, and it's based on our core values. And Deb and I create basically our own lesson plans that will encompass whatever the staff comes back with saying that they need in their surveys.
Yeah, and I think too, it's looking at one of the biggest things that everybody, character is not one and done. Character should be a constant growth in your school. I mean, we've been National School of Character twice now, and we feel like we are constantly changing. We are constantly growing. We are constantly listening to other schools and be like, oh, this idea is fabulous. Let's bring it in. There's no competition. Everybody should win. Everybody should be doing it. I really feel like we are never ending when it comes to the growth and changing and all of that. So your action plan is really important. Sometimes admin or, the people in charge, you have to be vulnerable, right? You have to be open to change and open to hearing the, what people are saying and the voice so that we can grow.
Yeah, it's okay to admit something's not working and we need to pivot. It's not a problem.
Absolutely. And I want to echo something that I think Deb and Maribeth mentioned earlier, which is that the best place to kind of start evaluating your school and seeing the ways you want to improve is literally just searching for the things that you're already doing. For instance, one thing we still do at Woodmont, and I know Deb and Maribeth do it too. A lot of times teachers pilot things in their own classrooms without even saying a word about it, just to see how their students respond. And keeping track of what teachers are organically and staff are organically trying in your building is a great way to kind of build your repertoire and kind of reflect. In other words, look at what you're already doing, because like Deb and Maribeth mentioned, you're all doing great work. I do the same thing they do. When I encounter other schools and work with other schools, I almost always come away with a great idea that I'd love to try at Woodmont. So you're already doing great work.
And as Maribeth said, counselors, at least the counselors here at Lakeview, our skills aren't organization as best as everything else. So we depend very much on the students And we also put we'll put a Google Doc up and ask teachers if they have ideas or if they have things to then put it in there or share with us or share with the school to try, and do that.
Yes. All right, so Steph, you want to talk about?
Again, staff surveys, for me, a lot of it is important for them to be, like I said, not reinventing the wheel, but, we spend a lot of time here at Lakeview School trying to support the staff. In fact, yesterday, we provided the teachers with some downtime for a period. They each were scheduled a period, and they were given a gift of time. So they dropped their students off to Maribeth and I, and we did, some activities in the cafeteria. So that way they could take it because conferences are coming up, or use that gift of time for anything. We love the snack cart. March is a really rough month, right? So luckily we are very blessed in that our admins realize that, and they spend a lot of time and do a lot of different things in March to try to push us through,
Yeah, I'll share what, this is what our admin sent out last year. This year is even
It's a little bit
bigger.
more, yeah.
But yeah, and last year our theme was about coffee, so there's a lot of coffee references in here, but it's the staff giveaways, lunch, it's Sky and Evan doing, those are our admins, Tone It Up Tuesdays, or reading to the kids so that the teachers get a little bit more of a break.
Yeah, so, and it's really seeing what they need. And the May PD day as well is more about health and wellness. So we have about 10 or 15 different things going on between yoga and cornhole and coloring and other stuff like that, just to really give the staff some more bonding time and all of that.
Yeah, and it really does improve, like the staff giveaways. Our vice principal has set up one of those, you just go to wheel.com and, set up a wheel with all the teachers' names on it, and spins the wheel, and somebody's getting like, $5 gift card to Starbucks, or if he found some, Sharpies somewhere in the building, he'll be like, oh, or somebody's getting Sharpies, and just silly things, but it just adds so much joy and excitement to our day, getting like this $5 gift card or something. So I think that's really fun. And as Deb said, our PD day is you can choose between yoga, cornhole, reading, coloring. We're going to add something this year. I can't remember what it is. Oh, they used to play volleyball. And then Sky and Evan would come down in a bus, one of the buses, dressed in like ice cream scooper outfits, and hand out ice cream to everybody. And it's just a really great way at the end of the school year to have fun with each other, to strengthen that bond before we all leave and have fun together.
Somebody asked, let me talk a little bit more. So a couple things, and this is just a personal thing, but one of the most favorite prizes that they get is vending machine money. So like $1.25 in an envelope, so you get to go to the vending machine in the faculty room as a, surprise or things. Someone asked about the gift of time, to explain it a little further. Gift of time can be different ways, right? And a lot of times it takes an admin. Maribeth and I do it probably 2 or 3 times a year. We try to give each teacher, we'll set aside a day, and we'll go in the cafeteria and we set a schedule, and each class can then pick one period where they drop their children off. We do a directed drawing with them. This time we did teacher appreciation cards where they all got to write notes. Sometimes we'll put a story on. Sometimes we had some seniors from the high school come down and read books to the kids, things like that. And the teacher gets to walk away for that period. If they want to go and stare at the wall, they can stare at the wall. If they want to, do lesson plans, make copies, use the poster maker, if they want to prepare for their conferences, which is what a lot of them were doing yesterday, that. And then another option for gift of time as well is we pull a sub in for a whole week.
Mhm.
And I know subs are like the valued thing right now, but, you know, we get a sub and, one of the secretaries has a schedule for the whole week, every period, and each staff can go up there and sign themselves out one period. And of course, they have to prep for the sub, but you know, they can then get another period sometime in. And that's a very easy one to
Mhm.
do throughout the year. I mean, you can literally do it once a week for a month. You can do it however it works out. We've done it over the years when subs have been in a crisis situation where just if the people who do the subs schedules know they have a few extra periods, they can let those out and then the teachers can claim them. Things like that. It makes an unbelievable difference.
The teachers are so appreciative of that, and Deb and I try to connect it to something going on. For instance, yesterday was for teacher appreciation, because that'll be here in May before we know it, and it's a time we have the kids to get all the cards done. We did it for fall conferences on one of the half days, which is a little bit more manageable on the half days, but we did our service learning project and we needed to have inspirational quotes to go along with the service learning. So the teachers dropped them off. We had all different inspirational coloring pages and the kids could do that for 20 minutes. We talked about where the coloring pages were going to go, and then the teachers pick up the kids. So that is definitely something. That's the thing the teachers need the most is time.
Mhm.
And they feel supported when you go out of your way to give them that time. Service learning.
Okay, so one of the things, especially with character.org, they have, they're looking for community service and service learning. And service learning is a little bit different than community
Mhm.
service. I'm not sure, hopefully I say it right, but service learning really is connected to one, voices, right? So all of ours are really developed literally, typically with the students and a discussion, and also connected to the curriculum
Yeah.
and what they're learning. Give you an example. Last year, a student from 4th grade had put a document in, you know, a voice request for a service learning project, the senior home in town. She felt like everyone's lonely and she thought they would appreciate bracelets and connection, those kind of things. And we connect, you know, so we can certainly share the form, you know, that allows them to have the voice. And then we connected it to the curriculum, you know, certain grades, they read stories about, you know, aging and being lonely and all of that kind of stuff. And then they made bracelets and then they were delivered, and a group of the students went to the senior home and met with them and spent time on the day and then gave out the bracelet. So that was a good example of service learning because it was connected. It was a need that our students felt was important, right?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways service learning happens. As Deb said, we have a form that kids could fill out when they have an idea. We also did a school-wide service learning project. And so how we came about that was we had a survey form that went out to every classroom, and during morning meeting time that day, everyone talked about different ideas for service learning. They talked about how it could be connected to curriculum and also what resources in the community we had to help accomplish this goal. We ended up coming up with helping out Spark, which was an organization in our town that is for adults who were once with autism, who were once a student at Lakeview. And now we're part of this program, and they were trying to get for neurodiversity a section in the library with books for kids to learn about neurodiversity. So we thought this was a great project because it involved our library, it involved our past students, it involved the Lakeview community. So we contacted the library. We told them that we wanted to help Spark with this. We asked Spark for a wish list of their books. They gave us the wish list. We asked our PTA to purchase all the books in advance so we would have them. So we had the books. You could see in our picture in the background, hopefully that's the cart that had all the books on it. And then we sent a letter home to the families saying, this is what we're going to be working on. This is what the goal is. Another thing Spark needed were crafts for their summer camp program. And that's why you see one of the students holding some crafts. It was connected to curriculum in that we did it during Neurodiversity Week celebration. So we had the school psychologist and our admin get on the video with the Zoom with the school to read a book. We had one of the members of Spark and Lakeview Lion, who is now an adult, but who's in Spark, came and read a book with the kids as well, talked about it. Then the kids could go home and read or do math and earn money through that. And for the kids who weren't able to earn money but could put in the hours, we had bookmarks for them to create. And through all this, the kids were able to purchase all the books to be donated back to the library. And again, we have our survey, our letter, and a video from it. It'll all be attached to this and a reflection sheet if anybody is interested in that. And then community service is doing things for the community, but it's not necessarily connected to the curriculum.
Yeah, one thing I would say to go along with that is that the best way to start with community service, and honestly, even more importantly, service learning, is think of your school as your community. That's the easiest starting point. It tends to be the community that students get most enthused about. One project that we did a few years ago, which has sort of continued here at Woodmont, earlier on, we had very kind of dilapidated bathrooms, as a lot of schools do. And we put together a student committee along with some staff for like a bathroom revitalization project. It got to the point where literally we surveyed every student in the building on what paint color they want. Students picked some swatches with us, samples of paint. And we've literally painted and renovated every bathroom in the building pretty inexpensively. We let the students choose the themes. The girls created a butterfly bathroom. The boys created a superhero bathroom, things like that. Like for instance, I even know the paint color in the upstairs girls' bathroom is lilac rose. And the only reason I know that is that I helped to administer that survey. And literally, we did it during lunch, a Google survey, very simple to carry out. I remember just the girls who voted for Lilac Rose literally jumping out of their seats in the lunchroom when we announced in real time that was the winning paint color. So your school really can be your community. A lot of times we think that we have to do a lot of fundraising. You know, we have to help countries overseas. We have to help with disasters in other parts of the country. Your own school community is a great starting point, and it's a community that's very easy to serve and continue to serve, and do all those surveys like Deb and Maribeth mentioned. So that's how we've done things largely here at Woodmont, and it's worked well.
And we've also worked with a lot of schools where they do the same similar ones every year. Like we tend to reinvent and do different things every year, but you can certainly work with the same programs and things like that year after year.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then finally, one thing we just want to talk about is promising practice, which is something through character.org. That's an award you could receive for your school. A promising practice is something you're already doing in your school, and to get recognition for some of the amazing programs you're already doing. One of our we've gotten a promising practice for our peer leadership program. I think our kindergarten recess, and our promising practice we received last year was for Tone It Up Tuesday. So every other Tuesday, our admins do a little fitness video with the kids for morning meeting, and they tie it to core values or something that's going on in the building if it needs to be addressed. We always have a theme every year about how to, like this year our theme is about elevating things. So if they're doing like 20 of a certain exercise, Mrs. Sarnopoli will say, let's elevate that to 23, and keep going. So that thing that we do twice a month here, that's really fun for the kids and stresses their physical well-being as well as emotional well-being. And we received a promising practice for that. It's a short application. It's easy to fill out. If you wanted to start a journey with character.org, we highly recommend that as a place to start. And now I think we're up to you, Doug.
Okay, great. Yes, so Deb and Maribeth did a great job of covering this slide here. It's all about service learning. Really, reflection is the key piece. It's what differentiates service learning from simple community service. To go back to the bathroom example we mentioned, one follow-up reflection activity we did with all the students was, now that we have these new bathrooms that you love, how can we take care of them? And it was a simple written reflection, and the kids knew what to do. You know, we had kids who responded, and we reviewed the responses. You know, don't use more soap than you need to. You know, throw your paper towel in the trash. Don't let it drop on the floor. These were things that the students were thinking of, and there was a pride of ownership that came from that and is still there. So, yeah, reflections can be simple. They can be teacher directed. So keep that in mind as you're planning things that you do within your school. Let's see, I guess if we can move to the next slide. Surveys can be small and informal. I'm actually gonna, in a second here, I'm gonna try to share my screen. Our student survey, it was funny because the staff team and I, you know, basically put together a survey to make sure that we were asking the students about all stakeholders. Do you see your teachers getting along? Do you feel your parents are supportive of what we're doing here at school? All sorts of things like that. And you know, I poured my heart and soul into it. And a couple of our fourth and fifth graders on our school climate team sat down with me a couple of years ago, and they're like, I asked them, I said, do you think the kindergartners can understand these things? And they said, honestly, no. They said some of the questions are too hard. So we sat down with our student school climate team and basically rewrote our survey. And I had a Likert scale. I had, you know, somewhat happy, less than happy. The kids said, why can't we just do it as yes or no? And we looked at each other and the staff agreed, and we said, there's absolutely no reason why we can't. So we're going to try to take a moment here and share
We're
what was
gonna stop
last.
sharing ours. Doug.
Okay, going to try to share last year's student survey. You're going to see it's really simple. We're actually going into, the media specialist and I are using the media classes all next week to do this year's survey. Let me see if I can find our survey here. Let's see.
And like we said before, Maribeth and I are more than willing to share all of our surveys. You know, we have some starter ones, we have some lengthier ones. Whatever you need, just reach out to us. We'll share this. Bill, are their emails all in there? Is there any contact information, or should we have everybody put it in the chat?
I think we have a registration list that we could share it with, but you know what? We're going to put this information up on the website, you know, by the end of the week. Also, we're running out of time, so
Yeah.
Yes. I thought I had the tab open for our survey. I apparently closed it while I was opening some other things. If I can bring that up in a minute, I will. I wanted to quickly share a little something that we did. We're always, I know that Deb and Maribeth would probably agree with this too. One of the hardest things to do within your building is to continually find new ways to integrate SEL into academic instruction. Our art teacher here at Woodmont came to me with an idea, and she said, I want the kids to explore how they see themselves, their own personal values, and make masks based on that. So we basically had the students do an interest inventory. We came up with that. She took the students through a list of like 30 different values that they might hold. Each student chose their top 3. And then she created this this questionnaire. We did this with our 4th and 5th grade classes, this particular project. What aspects of your identity would you like to present to others? This is just a sample of a student response. Biographical information. Here we see how they would describe themselves. Curly hair, freckles, tall, loves animals, and is a Virgo. Hopes and fears. It's amazing what kids write. This student wrote, I want to become a vet. I want to become an author. Then on the other side, they wrote, I don't want to go any further. So they really express a lot. And the masks came out great. I'm going to share with you now one of the masks. This was a student mask from this exact project. This was from a couple of years ago. We've been doing this now. I think we're in our 3rd year now of this particular project. And other teachers are doing similar things with writing prompts. This was a student who shared with her art class that she's known among her friends to always be happy, so she almost feels sometimes like she can't be sad. So she drew the eyes as happy, but then she added some tears, but kept the smile. So students were given the opportunity, they weren't forced to, but they were given the opportunity to share with their homerooms during art class why they created the mask that they created. So this was just one student example. But again, this was something that students really ran with, and I continually check in with my teachers to see what things they're trying in their classroom, because a lot of times they're doing a lot more than we think. Another thing, a project we
One more
did
thing,
that.
Doug, we're out of time. We're getting
Oh,
that.
we're out of time. Okay. So keep these things in mind. Survey formally and informally. Do great things in your classrooms. And please reach out to us. Maribeth, Deb, and I work with schools all the time. We're here continuously. We're happy to volunteer our time to review what you're doing and assist in any way we can.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Okay.
agreed.
well,
Thank
I'd
you
like to
everyone for showing up. We hope that, we can help you along your journey.
Yeah, I'd like to
Yes.
thank Doug and Deb and Mary Beth for sharing what they do. And as you gather, there's plenty more wisdom from these 3. And again, you will get the recording as well as their slide deck by the end of the week. It will be available on the website, which is SEL4NJwebinar.org. We will also put it on the NJASECD website, which is NJASECD.org, not coincidentally. So again, thank you all for being here. I think that they have tons to share. They do a great job. I've been to both of the schools. They're wonderful schools, and they're wonderful schools because of the work of these 3 and others. Not just it's everybody gets involved, and that's what's so impressive about both Lakeview and Woodmont, that everybody's involved, everybody wants it to happen. So thank you all for being here today. We're going to shut this one down and get ready for our next, which is New Jersey Resources, it's for SEL and SECD. And you'll hear a little bit more about the School of Character process, as well as about SEL for New Jersey, about the School Culture and Climate Initiative. And Doug and Deb and Mary Beth have been involved in all of that, as well as the Academy for SEL that's run through St. Elizabeth University. So thank you very much for being here. And we'll be ready to go in 5 minutes or at the top of the hour for our next session.
And
so we appreciate it.
Yep, and happy SEL week, everyone. Keep on posting, sharing the love of all the great work you do every day. And Doug and Deb and Mary Beth, it's just wonderful to hear about your work. It's been a long journey, but what a fabulous journey. And we just feel so privileged and honored to have been alongside your, this journey of all of ours collectively. So gotta go. Hope to see you at the other webinars the rest of this week. There are amazing ones coming up. So happy SEL week, everyone, and hope to see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Thanks for giving